All right. Our speaker series is going to begin. We got plenty of speakers for you today. And it is my pleasure to introduce the team from Eastern Service Workers Association. They do great work here in Trenton, working with the most vulnerable here. I'm proud to attend with them. I'm proud to do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary pals, it is my honor to present Michael Clark, Maria, and Eddie Frank from the SWA.
Yo. My name is Eddie Barnes. I'm a resident here. I work here. I'm from Trenton. And what I want to say is, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. For us to work the way that we work and get underpaid the way we're getting underpaid. This is unacceptable.
This is unacceptable. Shame.
Oh man.
We got you.
Listen, I'm not even going to look at this speech right now. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm a father of 4. A single father of 4. And what I went through of having a kid go through surgery, brain surgery, and having my bills get behind, and having to go through the struggles, I had to look down the street and see if the PS&G coming to turn my lights off. I had to turn on the faucet to see if the water still comes out. Having to make sure I walk before my kids to make sure they know eviction notice on the door.
Unacceptable.
This is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
This is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Now we have to come together as one, because these people are just greedy people. They are eating and eating and eating while we are starving and starving and starving. We have to make a change out here. We have to come together. We have to be as one voice. And it's not about color. It's not about nationality. It's not about culture. That's how they divide us. We need to speak with one voice. Do not let them divide us while they keep getting rich. There's families out here starving and working. Still starving and still working. Overworked, underpaid. You have to look at this as a mental thing that they're doing to us. They're attacking us mentally so we don't move physically. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're attacking us mentally so we don't move physically. This is a movement that we have to stand by. It's power in unity. It's power in unity. We can say, forget Trump, but it ain't Trump. It's the system that Trump represents. We have to break down the system. Break down the system. Now, Trump is just a man. We need to break down what he represents. We need to break it down. This system is designed to keep us in poverty. Keep the working man working and the hungry man hungry. We are over this. We can't get rich because of society's systems. For instance, we can't even pay for groceries. How is the groceries going up and the pay's not going up? myself, how is the groceries going up and the pay is not going up? How?
Greed! Because they can! Because they can!
How? How is the working man losing in the country that's made for the working man? This country is made for the dream. Why are we getting taxed for the dream? Why? These guys, it's this thing where these guys are sitting at a table, eating, while we're starving. It's time to go in the kitchen and make our own meals and make our own table. It's time for this movement to make now. We can't just sit around. We need to take action. Action. It's not about standing up for yourself sometimes. Sometimes it's about standing up for everyone that's around you.
Solidarity!
The man you stand next to, the woman you stand next to. Like I said from the beginning, it's not about nationality or culture. It's about breaking a system. Break the system! Break the system! Break the system! Break the system! Break it! We have to break the system now! Let's go! Let's go! I'm a strong man, but I can't do this on myself. Break the system.
Mi nombre es María, soy miembro también de la organización ESWA.
My name is Maria. I'm also a member of the association, Eastern Service Workers Association.
Soy representante también como miembro de los trabajadores y todos luchamos por la misma causa.
I'm also a representative of all other workers, and we all fight for the same cause.
He sido trabajadora por mucho tiempo aquí en este país y los salarios han sido pocos y todos hemos luchado por la misma causa.
I've been a worker in this country for a long time, and every time I've been paid low wages. That's why we have to fight together.
Por eso, compañeros, les digo que unidos jamás seremos vencidos. Unidos jamás seremos vencidos.
As she said, and that's why we have to stick together, brothers and sisters, because if we're united, we can never be defeated.
Hello, everybody. We welcome everybody here. My name is Linda Esau, and we know firsthand about the struggle and where people can't eat. We go out in this community and other communities within central New Jersey, knocking on doors, finding out the struggle and the needs of people. When we go out, some families don't even have pamphlets for their babies. So we have to come back to liberate. So firsthand, we do go out to door, which we call canvassing, and finding out the needs of people. So yes, we must unite. We must come together as one. Thank you all for coming.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Clark. I'm a full-time volunteer organizer with Eastern Service Workers Association, the operations manager there. I was a former public school teacher myself, and I wanted to follow up on what we've been talking about. As of course, you know, those who make billions of dollars off of our poverty, they have a strategy too. And their strategy is to divide us. And we're building organizations 7 days a week, all volunteer run, starting with the poorest workers of our community. And who is it? It's all of us here who do the backbone jobs of our economy, like taking care of the sick and disabled, working in warehouses, cleaning homes, preparing and serving food in the restaurants, and more. But while we do the backbone jobs that create billions of dollars of wealth for our economy and that keep our society running, we're the ones on the front lines struggling to afford food, having our electricity shut off, living without health care, or sometimes just straight up having our wages stolen. And that's why we need to build an organization, one hand, to help each other survive on the day-to-day basis, because you can't fight to change conditions if you're hungry, you can't fight to change conditions if you're sick. So we wanted to invite everyone to be a part of that. We're running 7 days a week, so outside the incredible protest everyone here has been a part of, we're canvassing house to house in the low-income communities right here in Trenton, like Linda mentioned, to actually break down the divisions between those of us who are working and born in the United States and those of us who are working and born in other countries. Because as we said, you know, their strategy is to divide us, so what do we need to do? You know, we have to unite. It's the only defense that we have. So we're canvassing house to house twice weekly this spring and summer. We invite everyone to be a part of that. We're organizing volunteer medical sessions. Every day we're fighting in the office, doing advocacy to help workers win back thousands of dollars in unpaid wages. People come in our office, PSEG shut off their power. As the CEO makes $1,018 every single hour of every day, of every week, of every month. You know? So what do we have to do? We have to fight, and that's material. We get on the phone and we go to battle to get people's power restored. And so we're doing action 7 days a week. We invite everyone here to be a part of it. If you need help, the organization is there. You can talk to one of us. If you need help, we're there 7 days a week. But also, we have a strategy for 50 years, 7 days a week, totally independent of government, to unite workers who have all different backgrounds, starting with the poorest. So not only can we help each other right now, but we can fight for solutions for the long term that bring everyone up, like fighting the policies that make us poor. So we invite everyone here to be a part of that as you can. Thank you all for being here on MayDay, which is just celebrating the solidarity of workers. So thank you all for being here and hope to talk to each and every one of you. Thanks a lot.
The next speaker, if anybody was here on 419, you saw her come up during the testimonials to speak about what she does. I don't want to belabor the point here. We have Marcella-Morales, voting rights activist with Next Door Voters. Come on up here.
I'm going to quickly take a little video if that's cool. Hey, no poop for you! No poop for you! No poop for you! All right, now let me pull up my speech because I'm not as good as everyone else was just now. You're perfect. Thank you! I am perfect. We are the many, they are the few, right? Hey friendos, let's chat. But first, pat ourselves on the back in honor of MayDay, a commemoration of our societal struggle for a dignified workday, for fair labor laws, for union rights. My name is Michelle. I'm a mom, partner, business owner, taxpayer, voter, independent political vlogger. I stalk our elected officials around the state. I do. And our future leaders to keep them accountable. But truly, I'm just a concerned citizen turned paranoid patriot. I'm from Ruby Red Ocean County. Oh, you like our beaches though, right? So yeah, that's District 4. Sidebar, that's the district of our ever-elusive congressman, Chris Smith. Yeah, so we're really worried about Chris Smith. He's been missing since the 90s. We'd like him to come back out to play. We have things to talk about. So we've been frantically searching for him outside his office in my hometown town of Toms River. Yeah. We've been there every single Tuesday for many months at noon. And we are actively planning to welcome new rescuers to find him. So if you're free on a Tuesday, Toms River, Washington Street, noon. Yeah. All right. Neighbors, like you, I'm from a county that's home to tens of thousands of hardworking laborers throughout many, many industries, backbreaking industries. Construction, highway, manufacturing, at one time, a power plant. Okay? We're home to Local 172, Ocean County. Folks that bust their asses every day to provide a stable life for their families while keeping our state running and beautiful and desirable to be, even though it's expensive as fuck. These same people, our neighbors who bust their asses, pay their taxes. They chose to give Donald Trump another chance in my district. They chose that. My county overwhelmingly voted for him. A man who dressed up in a waste management costume to show that somehow that meant he was one with the worker. A man who barely made it through 1 hour's play pretend at McDonald's for a shift. Pretty pathetic. My neighbors woke up, our neighbors woke up, scraped out of bed on November 4th and decided that they were going to actively vote for a draft dodging, tax evading, sex assaulting, twice impeached third-rate TV actor felon. Our neighbors did that. They actively did that, and we're proud of it. Look, these protests are not just a demand for our rights. They're not just a stand. They're not just a stand against this administration. They're a big fat, we told you so, to our Republican neighbors who were sold down the river along with their votes, their dignity, their pride, their savings, and now their 401ks. Okay? And our 401ks. I'm from a county of 660,000 people. Ocean County, 660,000 people. 482,000 of which are registered to vote. The math there, 178,000 votes are left on the table because those people have not registered to vote yet. Show of hands, who's registered to vote? Yeah! Who doesn't know if they're registered to vote? Raise your hand, or you don't have to, we won't look. Good stuff. If you need to know how to register to vote, please see me. NJ.gov. It's a little hairy. You can't exactly see it very easily. If you need to know if you're registered to vote, I can help you with that too. New Jersey. We cannot let even one person think that their vote doesn't matter. Our duty is to cast a ballot. This why bother attitude and protest vote nonsense got us in the very predicament we find ourselves right now. Our collective eye roll landed us with Donald Trump again. The nightmare, it came back. Yeah. Our state may have voted for that educated, experienced, distinguished woman who warned us that the turnout on election day, who warned us that we would be in a recession by summer. We actively chose to vote for not her. But New Jersey, we did turn out for her, right? Right, we voted blue. We voted blue. Yeah, but again, in my little old ruby red county, we didn't. My neighbors voted for Donald Trump, and so now I'm a bit paranoid, and I need you guys to help me out. Yes. Look, when Bill Murphy got elected, it was not a landslide. When he was re-elected, it was by the skin of his teeth. Our state is sliding a little too dangerously to the right. And I don't know about you, but we don't look that good in purple, and certainly we don't look that good in red. Although you guys look awesome in red. We cannot let the Jack Chiarellis, the Bill Spadias, take over our governorship. We are one of 2 states that are electing a governor before midterms. And that's extremely important. We're very important to the nation. And I'm sure you guys know that. So the Jack Chiarellis, the Bill Spadias, they're trying to flip us red again. They may talk a good talk about their victory being a mandate during the presidential election, but we all know better because that's why we're here. Look, the election has simply exposed the selfish assholes for who they really are, right? Which sucks because a lot of them are like close friends and family. But we know better. We who felt egregiously backstabbed the morning we woke up to another President Trump. But we see clearly the disgusting capitulation and the degradation of our democracy falls squarely on the conscience of our Republican neighbors. We have to make them feel bad about this, because guess what? They made us feel real bad for a long time. I think they're starting to feel it. The millionaire and billionaire classes have never seen a day of work, true work. They look down at the middle class, they see nothing but line items, profit margins, dollar signs. They know nothing of discomfort. They never have. They'll never need to trade a shift to get to their kids' parent-teacher conference. They'll never sweat it out at the grocery store line, hoping that their card goes through. They'll never, ever worry for the cost of eggs because they don't care. They don't even check their 401ks. They're proud of that. No one checks that stuff, right? Well, we are the many. They are the few. And since we're all pretty pissed and we outnumber them, we need to replace them. Right? Make midterms the new mandate. Make midterms the new mandate. So, we vote for a governor. Our primary is June 10th. Let's say that together. June 10th. June 10th. We're going to vote blue on June 10th. There are 6 viable candidates. And right now, if we could all follow them on social media and tell them they need to have a cup of coffee with me so that I can film our interaction and get that information back to you guys, I would super appreciate it. But look, Jack Ciattarelli, Bill Stadia, I don't want to give them too much airtime, but they are trying to turn us red again, and we need to stop that. So we need someone nice and aggressive to represent New Jersey. Our primary is June 10th, so we need a good candidate, and then we have to hit the polls in November to make sure New Jersey stays blue, right? Right? Make midterms the mandate. Why anyone would think a self-proclaimed billionaire who doesn't even pay his taxes, who stacks the government with inexperienced nepo babies, would understand and stick up for our hard-earned rights, it makes no sense. The GOP has been quietly, strategically dismantling our democracy for decades. It was Republicans who wrote and passed so many voter suppression laws right underneath our noses. We had no idea, right? We have one major stab at this. They want smaller government, we want stable government. New Jersey, we have to save the Constitution, our democracy, and sickly enough, it falls squarely on our shoulders to save the world. Like the economy, our economy and the world economy. And it's on us, it truly is. But how? Our Democrat elected officials have been the ones holding the town halls in red districts. Like mine, red districts like mine, answering to our worries with little substance. They don't have much to say to us because we're the minority in government. We are underrepresented, and so we can't get anything passed. We can't do anything, they say. The only thing that I've noticed when I'm stalking our officials at their town halls is that they say it's up to us, we the people. We have to vote for people to represent us. You have the vote. You have to vote more. You have to vote more of us to make change for you. That made more sense when I wrote it.
All right.
Wrap it up? Yep. All right, I'm going to wrap it up, which is good because I only have one paragraph left back. Look, those other dudes, the Jack Ciattarellis, the Bill Stadias, they're proud of this administration. They're proud, and that is despicable. So, let's remove this administration and replace it with who truly represents the worker, The average human person that works in America that just wants to wake up and have a dignified life. If you need to register to vote, check with me later. We will do that. If you need to find out if you are registered to vote, check with me. We are the many, they are the few. Thanks.
Our next speaker heads up the largest labor body in this state, representing over 1 million working men and women and their families. Under his leadership, New Jersey AFL-CIO has marshaled the power of labor in this state in order to get union members into elected offices, which is solely needed with big business on the attack. I'm proud to welcome to the stage the president of NJAFL-CIO, Charles Wowkanech.
Thank you, brother. There's organized labor in the house. There's organized labor in the house. All right. First off, I want to start out by giving another round of applause to our brother Eddie, who set the stage here today. His energy level, and he told the story that all of us are suffering from. I want to recognize all our sisters and brothers from the major unions that are here today. Our elected officials, we're going to hear from Senator Zwicker in a few minutes. Our friends, our neighbors, our community allies that all turned out today. I want to say God bless you and thank you for all that you're doing. My name is Charlie Wowkanech. I am president of the New Jersey AFL-CIO, representing 1 million workers in this state. President Trump and his magna cronies have declared war on us. The attacks have been unprecedented, and they're attacking the people who need the benefits the most. If you look at the elimination of the Department of Education, if you look at what he's doing to our veterans, these are people that went to a foreign land to make sure they had a democracy where they can vote. And when they come home, they can't even vote to be in a union in their own country. What kind of bullshit is this? They're tearing apart the National Labor Relations Board for us labor people, so we can't even organize, or it's going to be much difficult for us to organize. Every day there's another executive order. It doesn't stop. But he hasn't realized what he has ignited. And that's what we have here today. Trump wants to give tax breaks to wealthy corporations and his friends that are billionaires, and he wants to take it out of our pockets. He wants to pick our pockets, take the food off our table. What are we going to do? Are we going to fight? Are we gonna fight? All right. Eddie's message was pure and simple, but it was very truthful. We need to band together as one. Labor, community, elected officials, your neighbors, your friends. That's how we're going to take this thing back. Let's also make sure that we're registered to vote. And let the message go forward from Trenton, New Jersey today. The road to take back democracy starts right here. And the message will be sent on November 4th when we elect a Democratic governor. I want to thank each and every one of you, the organizers. I forgot to mention 50501. Great job. You guys are awesome. We love working with you. Thank God for everything you're doing to get the message out. But I want to end with a famous saying here. When we work together, when we fight together, let me hear you say, we will win together. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Our next speaker here came as a very unexpected surprise, but a surprise nonetheless. the first Democrat to represent the Legislative District 16 in the Senate since it was established in the 1970s, Senator Andrew Zwicker.
This is a rally, so signs up. Let me see those signs. If we're going to fight against truth decay, if we're going to have solidarity forever, we're going to stop the billionaire takeover, if we're going to express our outrage, public schools are a bright idea. We're going to fight for due process, and we're going to save democracy. If we are in the end going to have solidarity forever, then our voices must be heard. So let me hear you. I just came from across the street where we're doing a hearing on the future of higher education in this state, knowing that Trump and Musk are doing everything they can to dismantle higher education. Why? Because if you want to go after democracy, what do? You go after education. You go after freedom of speech. You go after freedom of expression. You go after the ability to come together and protest. And we will not stand for that. Not today, not tomorrow, and not ever. As Charlie just said, the attacks from these billionaires and from these Trump-enabled MAGA folks isn't just about higher education. It's about going after organized labor. Because what they want to do is divide us. What they want to do is push us apart. What they want us to do is to feel isolated and alone. But we know that together, when we organize, when we fight for our brothers and sisters in organized labor, when we fight for our teachers, when we fight for our children, we are stronger and there is no stopping us. So if you want to make sure that this country, which you love so much, this country that you fight for every single day, whether it is for good paying jobs, access to clean air, clean water, whether it is about public education, whether it is about the right to simply organize, we must do two things. We must vote, and we must make sure that our voices are never heard, never stopped. Thank you. The opposite of that. Because we are in this state going to invest in working people. We are in this state going to invest in public education. We are in this state going to fight for democracy, but we cannot do it alone. We must do it together, whether it is in that building across the street, whether it is in every city hall around this state, whether it is at every rally and protest. We will be in solidarity forever. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker, another union leader. CWA, Local 1036, President Adam Liebtag.
Thank you. This is 1036 in the house, I think. I am Adam Liebtag. I'm the president of CWA 1036, but I am just one person holding a microphone on behalf of over 60,000 CWA members working across this state. We work in telecom. We are the communications backbone of this country. If you use the internet today, or a cell phone, or a landline, you can thank a CWA member for supporting that. But besides that, I've got a question. I've got a couple questions about who CWA is. Who protects our clean air, our clean water, our state parks, our agriculture? Who does that work? During the pandemic, who were the essential workers that coordinated the COVID-19 response and planning? When the call comes in late at night for a child protective response, who are the workers that respond and protect that child? Who works in county welfare agencies and mental health and addiction services? Who supports veteran services? CWA is so proud of the work that our members do, but we don't just represent the member, we represent the public service. And we all know that there are those, whether it's in Washington, D.C., or some people running for governor in this state, that want to bring Doge to New Jersey. What do we think about that? They want to cut public services. They want to attack unions because they know what we know. They know that organized labor is the strongest, most effective, most educated voter, most mobilized effort to push back against this bullshit that we're seeing in Washington and we're seeing others trying to bring to New Jersey. And you know what? They're right. They should be scared of organized labor. Because when we stick together, we will win no matter how long that fight takes. We will dig in together. We will work with all of our brothers and sisters across the labor movement, because we know in CWA what everybody else knows in the labor movement. When we fight, we win! When we fight, we win! When we fight, we win! Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, CWA. And last but certainly not least in our list of speakers, I have on the steering committee of Central NJDSA, member of AFG Local 23, and a member of the Democratic Party Committee in Hamilton Township, Joe Marchica.
Hey, I just want to make something clear real quick. I appreciate the introduction. Not here on behalf of the Democratic Party Committee. Not necessarily even here on behalf of Central Jersey DSA, although I am very proud to be a member of the steering committee of the Greater Trenton Branch. I'm mostly here as a representative of the Federal Unionist Network, which in AFG Local 23 also, definitely thank you for mentioning that. And we are a loose association of federal workers in our unions, active in our union, building rank and file, worker power, to make sure that we can defend ourselves, defend our services, defend every worker in this country as best we can, and all of the services we all rely on, Medicare, Medicaid, the EPA doing what it needs to do to make sure that, to the greatest extent we can in a flawed legal framework, you can have clean air and clean water, right? To make sure that we have our social safety net, public transportation, affordable housing, all that kind of type of stuff. This is all government workers providing these things, and we are in the vanguard of the fight to protect those things right now because it's us. We're the workers. We're the ones who do the work. So I want to emphasize that that is the primary group I'm here on behalf of, but what I really want to talk about just a little bit is what this day is, what this day means, right? So first off, I want to try to get everybody's energy back up a little bit because I meant to come in with this, but I had to make a real quick correction. Let's see who was around in 2020. No justice? No peace! No justice? No peace! And if we ain't gonna get no justice? No peace! Alright, thank you. So, MayDay, right? What the hell's MayDay? Why are we here? International Workers' Day, right? It's worker solidarity. But I want to thank everybody for coming out, specifically because we're standing in solidarity with workers around the world, and because we're honoring the legacy of the labor movement right here in America. This started as an American holiday. This started as an American worker holiday about international solidarity. It started in Chicago, right? And I want to honor the legacy of the Haymarket martyrs. Wait, you might be thinking martyrs, right? We're here for a workers' rally. Why the hell are we talking about martyrs? Well, it all starts with a general strike back in 1886 that was planned 2 years ahead of time. 1884. Take notes, people. We may need to start doing this soon. Take notes. It takes a little bit of time to plan a general strike, right? So, they were working 12, 14-hour days, 6 days a week, horrible conditions. There were no worker protections. Thank you, NIOSH. Thank you, OSHA, federal workers. It was a different world for workers at that point in many ways. Not so much others. And it got to the point where they needed to set a limit on how many hours they were going to be required to work in it, right? And so they organized around 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, 8 hours for what you will. That was the slogan. And this led to one of the largest labor demonstrations in American history. At that time, you had, by MayDay 1846, the first MayDay, sorry, not 1846, 1886. You had 400,000 workers around the country, all walking out of work, all striking together, and the epicenter of that movement was Chicago. You had 40,000 workers strike on the first day. You had 80,000 people marching in the streets of Chicago together in the first MayDay march. And that's part of what we're here to honor. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! We need to learn from that. We need to learn from that. And I also want to mention that in response to a particular strike, there was an incident where cops were called in to break up picketers who had been striking from the workplace. They opened fire in the crowd, killed 2 workers. Yeah, shame, shame, shame. And coming off of this, the labor organizers, the anarchists, the organizers who were very central to the Chicago labor movement called for a mass meeting the next day. At this mass meeting, they had 3 speakers: August Spies, Albert Parsons, and Samuel Fieldin. And as the last speaker was wrapping up, the meeting was wrapping up, a meeting, I'll mention that the mayor of Chicago was at and deemed peaceful enough that he left and told the cops, no, we're good. We don't need to do anything here. Just go home. The cops decided different, saying an informant in the crowd who didn't like something that Samuel Fieldin said, thought it was threatening. And so the cops came in and started to break up the protest, and a bomb got thrown. To this day, we don't know who threw it. Killed 1 cop, cops opened fire into the crowd, killed 10, 11 people, 6 of them other cops. Shame! Shame! For this, it started the first American Red Scare. And you saw a manhunt to go after labor organizers, anarchists, folks who were critical to American workers at the time. You saw 8 men go on trial for a crime they had nothing to do with, for the murder of that police officer, for throwing that bomb. They had nothing to do with doing that. And I want to read their names briefly right now. If I can find it here. Because I remember the first 3. But 8 names is a lot to remember. And I do not want to leave anybody out. So as I mentioned, it was August Spies, Albert Parsons, and Samuel Fieldin, as well as Adolf Fischer, George Engel, Michael Schwab, Lois Lane, and Oscar Meade. This was the most rigged trial, perhaps, in American history. You saw a judge come in with a verdict in mind ahead of time. You saw paid witnesses for the prosecution. You saw a jury that was specifically selected to give a guilty verdict because the ruling class of America at that time, the bosses, decided that these people needed to be made an example. So 5 of them, ended up, 5 of them were executed. 1 took his life before he went to be executed, to be hung. And they were given the opportunity to give speeches in the trial before sentencing. And these speeches, I highly encourage you to look them up. They're incredible speeches. These people were the propagandists for the labor movement. These people knew how to write some good stuff. They knew how to speak. They were well practiced at it. And they knew where power lays. They knew how to go after it. And they knew that they were part of something bigger. They were part of a movement for worker solidarity around this entire world, around this entire country. And I just want to read one brief quote from August Spies from that speech. If you think that by hanging us you can stamp out the labor movement, which from the downtrodden millions, the millions who toil in misery and want expect salvation, if this is your opinion, then hang us. Here you will tread on spark, but there, and behind you, and in front of you, and everywhere flames blaze up. It is a subterranean fire, and you cannot put it out. Those marks I've ever heard. So, I want to just emphasize that I think that is the type of energy we need to embrace collectively. We need to understand that each of those individual sparks, we need to do the work to bring people together, to bring those sparks together into a bonfire that can burn bright enough to defeat American fascism and win freedom and liberation for all of us, right? Because I firmly believe that none of us are free until all of us are free. So I want to emphasize something here. The Trump regime, this latest rise in American fascism, they're using the oldest trick in the book, it's divide and conquer. They are specifically going after the groups who are most vulnerable, and they know who the least people will show up for. They're going after immigrants, they're going after trans people, they're going after, federal workers, we're on the hit list too. We may be just like slightly below them on the hit list. We're all getting hit, we're all in this together. And they're going after Palestinian people and Palestinian liberation organizers. And they're doing this because they know a subset of their opposition will not show up for these people. Personally, I believe that everybody in occupied Palestine deserves freedom, deserves a secular democracy. Personally, I think trans people are people and trans rights are human rights. Personally, I believe that immigrants are people and deserve human rights just the same as the rest of us, regardless of what arbitrary side of an arbitrary line that crossed them in most cases they live on. Right? So, I want to urge everybody here, whether you agree with me or not on these issues, we need to see these people's humanity and see that these specific issues, if we do not side with them, we are questioning their very personhood and their very human rights. I don't care what your stance is on this, but I need you to show up for them and understand that if you don't, this is what Trump wants. This is what the fascists want, because we are in the hole. We are in first they came for mode right now. We have to show up for them. I understand people may have disagreements. That's fine. But when we talk about unity, when we talk about solidarity, it does not mean disregarding risky opinions. It does not mean disregarding things that you might disagree with. Particularly when that is based in the personhood, the basic human rights of the people we're talking about. So, I want to draw a direct line between the groups that were targeted at Haymarket and who's being targeted right now. Because of those 8 people, 8 martyrs who were targeted, pretty much all immigrants. Most of them German, one of them I believe was British. And there is a direct line, I mean, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes a whole hell of a lot. In this particular rhyme, you can match up the German immigrants to the non-white immigrants that the Trump administration is targeting now, right? Straight line. You can line up the political stances of Palestinian liberation organizers with the fact that all of these organizers, pretty much all of them, were anarchists, which was a scary political ideology to the American ruling class. Palestinian liberation is a scary thing to the American ruling class and to the leadership of both major political parties. Here's the through line here, people. Make sure you take note. And I also want to point out one of the particular martyrs, Albert Parsons, his wife Lucy Parsons, their marriage was an interracial marriage. It was illegal at the time. It was illegal. They had to move states and really jump through hoops to get married because they were a threat to the white supremacist order at the time. Right? Trans people are seen as a similar threat to the social order as they were. And we have to note this. We have to note why they are targeting these people because they know that certain people will not turn out protected. We have to prove them the hell wrong. We have to show up for each other. We have to understand that no one is safe until everyone is safe. Far enough. Far enough. So that is what I mean when I talk about solidarity. And when I talk about the meaning of International Workers' Day and the meaning of the Haymarket martyrs in the American labor movement. We need to look at history and learn from it, not because it will repeat itself, but because it will rhyme. And we can win this fight if we come together and we push together to end American fascism, to defeat American fascism, to defeat Trump, plus all of the people who are behind them. If you heard the name Curtis Yarvin, I also would highlight him. Look him up if you don't know who he is, it's pretty scary. If we do this, we can win, we can defeat this fascist administration. I'm going to encourage everybody here to go get involved in your union, go get involved in community organizations. Go get involved, organize, and don't only vote. You guys are taking the right steps. You're here. You're doing something. Go find an organization. There's a ton here. Go find your union. Get involved. Organize. Make sure you're a dues-paying member. If you're in the federal workforce, it's essentially right to work. You have to opt in to pay dues. Make sure you're doing that. This is how we build power, and this is how we win, and this is how we can build a better world together in the ashes of American fascism. Thank you.